Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, former Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves is set to appeal his expulsion from the House of Representatives. Lawmakers will pick who will be designated as a caretaker of Teves's district. House Committee on Ethics Vice Chairperson Ria Vergara joins us in the program. And later, a lone lawmaker opposes Teves's expulsion. Davao del Norte 1st District Representative Pantaleon Alvarez tells us more later in the show. The fight is not yet over for former Congressman Arnie Teves as he plans to appeal his expulsion from the House of Representatives. His camp is studying all options but admits it's an uphill battle. More from our senior correspondent, Anjo Mario.
Former Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves was no longer surprised when his fellow lawmakers at the House removed him as a congressman.
He's more saddened than shocked. He expected this, but he's sad not for himself, but because he felt that those who voted for him during the last elections as representative of the 3rd District of Negros Oriental would be deprived of their elected representative in the House of Representatives.
Lawyer Ferdinand Topacio says they're already studying their options and will exhaust all legal remedies. But can the voting in Congress be overturned?
It may be futile, but nonetheless, he should have been given the chance to appeal. Based on the voting, the chances are nil, but nonetheless, we are studying our options.
Topacio insists the voting should have been deferred given his client's appeal before the Anti-Terrorism Council for his terrorist designation and a complaint in the Office of the Ombudsman accusing him of abandoning his office. Lawmakers from the National Unity Party support Teves's expulsion. They point out the evidence against him is strong and deeply concerning. For PDP Laban, Teves's designation as terrorist is an affront to the honor of the House of Representatives. Teves is facing murder cases over 3 incidents of killings in Negros Oriental in 2019. There's still no arrest order from the court. A separate murder complaint is in connection with the killing of former Negros Oriental Governor Ruel de Gamo and 9 others. Asked if his client won't come home to face the cases.
Yes, I think that is definite because with what is happening now, his requisite that he be treated with fairness is not happening.
Just Secretary Boying Rimulya says they will ask for the cases in Negros Oriental to be transferred to Manila. Anjo Mario, CNN Philippines.
And let's go straight to the source of the story. We have House Ethics Vice Chairperson and Nueva Ecija 3rd District Representative Ria Vergara. Congresswoman, good to see you again. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Ms. Pinky.
All right,
Good morning.
Let's start with this first. Let's move forward in a sense that the latest report is that the letter has been sent to the office of Mr. Teves. And what will happen from here on?
Well, I was listening to Attorney Topacio, and in our rules, Congressman Teves can actually file for a motion of reconsideration, but it will require one of the members of the House that voted in the majority to request for a reconsideration of the vote that we did last Wednesday. Now, 265 voted in the affirmative, 3 abstentions. The prospects are very dim that this will be reversed, but that is the recourse, and it should happen no later than August 22, which is the next day of work for Congress. After that, I believe he can go to the Supreme Court to question what the House of Representatives did.
So it has to be, if at all there is a motion for reconsideration, which, as you mentioned, looks, dim. Because 265 voted for, 0, well, actually not 0, 1 opposed it, and 3 abstentions. It has to be one of the 265 to file a motion for reconsideration.
Yes, it has to be one of the 265.
Okay. So the letter has been sent to the office of the congressman. So now, who will actually represent the 3rd District of Negros Oriental?
Right now, the caretaker of the District of Negros Oriental is no other than our Speaker Martin Romualdez. So now when the COMELEC receives the letter from the House of Representatives that this position is now vacant because of the expulsion of Kong Arnie Teves, COMELEC will then have to coordinate with the House on the scheduling of a special elections.
I see.
There's also the possibility that if funds of the COMELEC are tight, that they will just defer this till the next national elections, which is in 2025. So there's no hard and fast rules. It
I
really
see.
all depends on the COMELEC as well as the leadership of the House.
I see. So, but ultimately, it's going to be the decision of the COMELEC, because I heard Chairman Garcia, actually I read a report that Chairman Garcia was saying that they are just waiting for the House of Representatives to call for a special elections via COMELEC. So is that really the way it will proceed? The House will say, COMELEC, you need to have a special election here. And then what? The COMELEC decides, we have the money, we don't have the money.
Yes, I really don't know what goes on there, but like I mentioned, in the 18th Congress, the congressman from Baguio passed away, and we didn't have a special election. The new representative was voted on 2022. In this Congress, when Congressman Remulla, now Secretary Remulla of the Department of Justice, was appointed by the president, we had special elections this year, and so there is now a new representative for Cavite, Secretary Remulla too. I mean, the son of Secretary Remulla.
Right.
So I guess it varies.
Yeah, but ultimately, will it be, the final decision will be made by COMELEC?
Yes, the final decision will be made by COMELEC in coordination with the House of Representatives.
Yeah. I think it was also Chairman Garcia that said that it is possible that if there will be special elections, it can happen rather during the barangay and SK elections. He made a statement in that regard.
Oh, okay.
So
yes.
that is a possibility.
Then I defer to Chairman Garcia's statements.
Okay. Moving forward, let's go to actually the meat of the expulsion. I hope you can clarify this for me, because earlier there were reports saying that the designation of Congressman Arnie Teves as a terrorist was discussed, but it was not a basis for his expulsion. Hindi po naging rason yung kanyang designation sa ATC para po masipa siya. But then, reports thereafter were saying there were 4 reasons why he was taken out or he was kicked out as congressman. And one of them actually identified him being designated as a terrorist by the ATC. What is really the story here, Congresswoman?
Well, the committee report, I think you're referring to the committee report. The committee report of the ethics, we did discuss, or we invited the some resource persons from the ATC to discuss designation of Congressman Arnie Teves as a terrorist. However, during our executive session, we all agreed that simply being tagged as a terrorist does not really
Warrant an
allow
expulsion?
us to doesn't allow us to expel a member. I mean, as you're aware, we have some congressmen that have been rag tagged in the previous Congress, the Makabayan bloc. And just by virtue of being tagged as a terrorist, that's not enough grounds to be expelled. And so in the final recommendation of our committee, there are basically 3 grounds that warranted his expulsion. One was the continued absences since March, the abandonment of his duties as a representative for the 3rd District of Negros Oriental, and lastly, the indecent behavior, that his posts in social media and the disrespect he shows towards when he speaks about the decision of the ATC.
I want
That's not the real reason. I mean, that's just what you call it, a mitigating reason, but really the main reason is the abandonment of his duties as a congressman of Negros Oriental, as evidenced by his application for political asylum in Timor-Leste.
so it,
Those really are the
yeah.
major ones.
So it's clear, Congresswoman, that while it was discussed, him being tagged, rather designated as a terrorist, did not form part of the decision to expel him.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, but there were other reasons, as you mentioned a while ago. Well, his continued absence, his application for political asylum in Timor-Leste, and then this indecent posts on social media, to which Congressman Pantaleon Alvarez is opposing. Let's talk about that after the break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, House Ethics Vice Chairperson and Nueva Ecija 3rd District Representative Ria Vergara. Congresswoman, so let's talk about yung pong social media post, yung sumasayaw po si Congressman Arnie Teves. That was obviously part of the decision. It said, I guess in a way, it was an indecent social media post. Congressman, former Speaker Alvarez was saying, this is unacceptable to remove Teves due to a social media post. I guess he's referring to as one of the reasons. How do you defend that?
Okay. And I'm speaking here based on my personal opinion. So the expulsion of Congressman Arnie Teves hinged on basically two grounds: the continuous absence and his abandonment of his duty, and then adding to that was his indecent behavior in social media. But that's a secondary factor. It's not the main factor. I believe as congressmen, we are held to a higher standard. Our constituents look up to us, and this position of leadership, which we have for the next 3 years, or now for the next 1.5 years, comes with its certain responsibilities. One is to act responsibly, to follow the rule of law, and also to behave decently. Mm-hmm. So I feel that when the committee said that his indecent exposure or his behavior in YouTube, they were referring to that the expectation, or as models in our community, we are expected to behave in a manner befitting a member of the House of Representatives. We have to protect the institutional integrity of the House of Representatives. Granted, I believe that should not be the grounds for expulsion. And if it was just Congressman's in Arnie Teves's social media posts, that's not grounds for exemption, for expulsion. That would have been maybe a reprimand. But I think what the Committee of Ethics did was look at all the actions that have been done, and that is what you call a mitigating factor. But on its own, it is not grounds for expulsion.
The camp,
does that make sense?
Yeah, the camp of Arnie Teves is saying that this decision was some sort of an injustice, for the main reason that the House should have actually deferred a decision on his fate, as he has pending cases. One is with the Ombudsman, and the other, of course, an appeal on his designation as terrorist by the ATC. Was there a possible violation on this, Congresswoman?
No, because the case before the Committee on Ethics, the sole judge for disorderly behavior of a representative lies only with the Committee of Ethics and Privileges. It doesn't lie anywhere. So he has been expelled because of disorderly behavior and conduct unbecoming of a congressman. The Ombudsman has no authority to to judge that. That power is vested solely with the Committee on Ethics. So when Attorney Topacio talks about there's a pending case in the Ombudsman, I wonder, is that about disorderly behavior? Now, if it's about abandonment of duty, then the Committee on Ethics took jurisdiction of this case as early as August 2. We were furnished unofficial copies of this case in the Ombudsman last August 11, as we were, in an executive meeting, and it did not even come from the Ombudsman. This document was unofficially submitted to us by no less than Attorney Topacio himself. So, barring that it did not come from the Ombudsman, it's irrelevant to the committee because it did not come in officially. So, we did not transgress the rules of our committee.
Would it have mattered if that motion for reconsideration came from the Office of the Ombudsman or was submitted by the Office of the Ombudsman and not the camp of Arnie Teves, ma'am?
Well, I would have to see what the case in the Ombudsman is, and read it, and if it's at all similar. But as far as I know, it's only the House of Representatives, the Committee of Ethics and Privileges, that can review any disorderly conduct of its members. We are the only agency, or we are the only government body that has the power to do this. No one else.
Okay. So that being said, we will see what the next move of the camp of siguro former Congressman Arnie Teves na ho, because he's been expelled by the House of Representatives. Let's see what his next moves will be. House Ethics Vice Chairperson and Nueva Ecija 3rd District Representative Ria Vergara. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Pinky.
And we'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Davao del Norte District Representative Pantaleon Alvarez. Congressman, good to see you again. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Mag-umpisa na po ako. Congressman, so you voted no, no? Hindi kayo sang-ayon dito sa pagtanggal kay Arnie Teves bilang kongresista. Sir, unang-una, ba't hindi ho nasama yung inyong boto? Kasi ang lumalabas po 265 pabor, 0 hindi, 3 abstention.
Hindi kasi ako personally nasa session hall. Dahil nandito ako sa district and pwede namang mag-participate through online. Ang problema, at that time medyo malabo yung signal.
Okay.
Kaya customary man din sa amin na pwede ka sumulat at i-verify ano yung vote na naka-register sa'yo.
Got it. Congressman, so tell us the reason why you were against this expulsion, this decision to expel Arnie Teves as congressman, sir.
Ma'am, expelling a member of the House of Representatives is a very mabigat na parusa yan. It rocks the very foundation of a Republican and democratic form of government. Mawawalan ho ng representation yung mga tao sa district ni Congressman Arnie Teves.
But there could be a caretaker, sabi po ng House, and another one is that possibly special elections can also happen kahit sa barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections sa October 30, sir. So hindi naman ho masyadong malayo yung agwat na magkakaroon po ng posibleng bagong congressman?
Yung special elections, mahirap po yun. No? Kasi unang-una, wala namang budget na pinrovide yung Congress para isama yung special election sa barangay elections sa darating.
Right, right. Kaya nga po tinatanong ko kanina si Congresswoman Ria Vergara, papaano ho yun? Ultimately, parang ang lumalabas po, it will be the decision of the COMELEC. And I'm sure one of the reasons would be kung may pondo. Pero nagsalita ata si Chairman Garcia and said, this is a possibility lang po. Let's talk about the reasons, sir. Bakit hindi ho kayo sang-ayon? I know you said napakatindi nitong parusang to. It rocks the very, siguro yung papaano na yung mga tao, yung kanyang constituents. But pag-usapan po natin, wasn't his absence, his filing for political asylum, and his alleged indecent behavior on social media enough grounds for you to say, oo nga, baka kailangan dapat na siyang tanggalin bilang kongresista? Pag-usapan po natin yung tatlo, sir.
I don't think grave reasons yun. We can consider them grave reasons to be the basis of removing a member of the House of Representatives. Unang-una, ma'am, yung posting sa social media, no? Posting sa Facebook. Ikarapatan din niya yan eh. Nasa Constitution yun, nasa Bill of Rights yun, karapatan niya yun. So bakit tayo magagalit? Bakit natin gawing negative yun against Congressman Teves? And gusto ko lang linawin din na I'm doing this not only for Congressman Teves. I am doing this in behalf of all other members of the House of Representatives now and in the future. Dahil ma'am, this precedent is very dangerous.
Okay.
Paano na lang? For, let's say, kung gusto ng leadership na tanggalin ka sa House of Representatives, mag-iimbento sila ng mga instances na sabihin nila, oh, grave yan. Grave reasons yan. Enough to expel a member from the House of Representatives.
All right. So, Congressman, I wanted to talk about these two things, which I asked Congresswoman Ria. Yung pong designation as terrorist, we discussed that a while ago, and they said that was not really part of that decision in the end. Ang talagang napag-usapan dito ay yung tatlong bagay nga, yung kanyang continued absence, yung kanyang filing for political asylum, at yung indecent behavior sa social media. But, she said, itong indecent behavior po sa social media, parang mitigating na lang ho talaga ito. Yung dalawa ho kasi, it seems, is really what pushed the House to have him expelled. Hindi ho ba sapat yung kanyang pag-file ng sa Timor-Leste? Kasi parang abandonment na po yun ng kanyang trabaho.
Hindi naman siguro sapat yun, ma'am, dahil karapatan din niya mag-seek ng asylum.
But if he does that, if he did that, and let's say it was allowed, sir, nagkaroon din po ng abandonment, hindi ho ba, ng kanyang constituents?
Yung kasi abandonment, ma'am, magaling sabihin abandonment. Pero dapat tignan din ng House of Representatives talagang inabandon niya kasi nag-appoint naman ng caretaker.
So you're saying that...
Although siyempre yung caretaker, hindi naman necessarily na gusto ng tao yan.
Yeah.
Dahil hindi nila binoto yan eh.
Opo. Okay, so paano ho yan? Sabihin natin, just very quickly, no? I wanted to go back to your video na sinasabi mo, you have freedom of expression, you have, it's under the Bill of Rights. When I asked that to Congresswoman Ria, ang sabi nga, the members of the House, members of the Senate are held to a higher standard, and that you must behave properly and act responsibly. So with Congressman or former Congressman Arnie Teves dancing that way at sinasabi niya ito daw yung kanyang ganto na daw mag-recruit ng mga terrorists ngayon, hindi ho kaya para sa inyo, tama pa rin ho ba yun?
Yung kasing tama o mali, ma'am, relative din yun eh. So, pinakailangan, siguro for the House of Representatives, i-define natin ano yung grave reasons. What actions can be considered grave reasons to oust or expel a member of the House of Representatives from
Yeah.
Congress?
Right. So it seems, sabi nyo nga, this will set as a precedent. But it definitely looks like, sir, yung pong continued absence, yun pong filing for political asylum, it seems these could be grounds already for somebody in the future sa House that could be expelled. Kasi nga nangyari na po kay Congressman Arnie Teves. All right. Davao del Norte District Representative Pantaleon Alvarez. Sir, thank you so much for your time.
Salamat po, ma'am.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.